Going on, Scoot? How are you doing today? Sound coming through okay? Doing good. Right on. Just chilling on a Sunday, huh? I wasn't gonna even do it live today. I figured, better just get them done. I'd really like to start the shooting season here, being able to take YouTube's money, getting some of that paid advertising. So let me ask you, since you are, you're my first and only member right now. Right, that's all right. Is there anything you want to see in more detail? I'd be glad to show you. I kind of indebted to you. I think you've seen. I still got stuff to bring out. But I'd definitely like to maybe show you something more you might want to see or be interested in. As well as here in a couple weeks when we get out shooting, we'll be able to show it in a little better detail. How long you been married? Curiosity. You got kids? I don't think we've discussed any of that. $30 years. Yeah, you got a few more than me. John, how are you doing today? So John, while you're here, I can make you do some typing for me, sir. I think I asked you the question, out of everything you own, currently own, have owned, what are your five favorite firearms? I know I hear people ask me that all the time. What are your favorite? And I always respond, you got to give me more data points than that. I got to know what am I using them for? Is that the only one you have? Just the one Sun Scoot 29? I've been married now for 28 years. I got married when I was 19. I think I was 19, maybe 20. I don't remember. Suppose I could sit here and count, but I have the three kids. My oldest is 24. My middle son's 15 and my daughter's 11. So what does your son do for a living? What do you do for a living? I don't know that we've discussed any of that, or at least I don't recall. Stiffler, how are you doing, sir? You're busy. I know you're busy. Hey, Tin Can there. Francis, too, since you popped in. I will absolutely answer your guys' question, but you got to do me a solid. You got to double tap that screen. There you go. And we're all good choices. There you go. I assume that was you, Tin Can. I enjoy firearms. I enjoy exercising my rights and freedoms. I enjoy the discipline that goes along with shooting. I'm not really in need of a video editor. John. Let's see. Really tough. Colt, SR9, 6 hour. Lee Enfield, Thompson Contender, Venture. Yeah, all that stuff is going around right now. Everybody here was sick like 2 weeks ago, but we're getting over it. Hey there, just got off work. I'd love to answer that question, but you gotta do me a favor and just double tap that screen first. I'm calling it the troll toll, so anybody that comes around and wants to ask questions, I'll gladly answer, but I need you to double tap that screen, help these algorithms out. Winchester 9294. Still in the West, do me a favor, sir, too. Double tap that screen for me. Throw a like on here. It's called the troll toll. So, there you go. I assume you're saying Glock 17. I do like Glock 17s. I have enjoy more, but out of the Glock style pistols, I do like Glock 17s probably more than some. I do have a Remington rifle. Yeah, I bet. I was in a couple different lives last night for a little bit while I was waiting to fall asleep, and I actually told him to check out your shop. I don't know what you're saying about selling firearms, because I absolutely don't sell firearms. But since you want to troll, pay the toll and double tap that screen. Your first name's Remington. Well, nice to meet you, Remington. Consider subscribing. Hey, Stiffler. So there's you'll see the message in here if you scroll. His name is John Flame. I don't know anybody that owns the firearms he owns. He's an older gentleman, and I'm understating this, but he has a living museum. The guy's got an incredible collection. If you would check him out. Scoot, I'm pretty sure we talked about him last time. But yeah, if you check him out, Stiffler, I'd appreciate it. He's the type of person with the knowledge and the resources that's at his disposal for reference material. It's going to be a void in the community when he's not around. I mean, the more I look at his channel and the more I look at not even necessarily what he's focusing on in his video, but I look at what's in the background. Oh my God, dude. Phenomenal collection. It's John Fleming. You'll scroll up, or John, if you're there, pop in real quick here so they can find you easier. So I have to go back and scroll through the comments. I appreciate it, Tin Can. Justin, do me a favor and I'll answer your question for you, sir. Double tap that screen, help these algorithms out. But as far as Caniks go, I really don't have a lot of experience with Caniks. It's kind of a weird niche, right? So people getting into firearms, a lot of them will choose to go with a Canik. How you doing, Payasaka? I'm good. Hope your day is going good. But a lot of people that are getting into firearms that maybe don't want a Glock to start with, they will. All right, man. They'll start with that, and I think it's an interesting price point for what you get. So there's definitely value there. But me personally, there you guys go. There's his page. A lot of people choose Canik. Why won't you own a Glock, Justin? I myself, I own quite a few Glocks. I don't shoot them like I used to. Um, I won't be buying any new ones. I mean, I would like to maybe check out the 47, but like I was saying in the last live, until Glock comes into the modern age a little bit and starts providing people with the firearms and the options that they really want, I'm not going to support the company because all their competitors are doing it. There's a huge, which is great for Stiffler, man. This is phenomenal for you. But there's a huge aftermarket support that is fixing or filling in the gap. And as a manufacturer, Glock should understand and hear what the customers are asking for, and they're not. So, in my opinion, the only way for them to start listening to what the customers want is for the customers to stop buying their firearms. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there, man. Absolutely. I mean, kind of what I just said. I think a lot of the modern striker firearms, including Canik, they're all priced a little heavier than they should be. Um, some of the stuff may be worth it, but when we're talking about a firearm that's 50-60% polymer, uh, they they could be a little bit better or more competitively priced. I think companies today, right now, that are still charging more for an optics cut pistol, that's a shame. That's a sham. It shouldn't cost any more. There's not a pistol out there. Even if somebody, like I'd say, I'm not going to put an optic on my Glock 26 or a lot of the stuff I use, but in this day and age, there's not a firearm that should be being sold, a handgun, that's not optics cut. It's not optics ready. They should all be that way. 100% they should be that way. That's all right, man. I have a hard time with it too. People ask me favorite pistol. Well, I have favorite pistols that I enjoy shooting for different things. I have different rifles that I enjoy shooting for different things. So you two guys that just jumped in here, um, double tap that screen for me and I'll answer your question. There you go. Um, there's 222 revolvers up here. Uh, they're H&Rs. The bottom one is, I should have looked at it again. I think it's a 1903 manufacturer date. The Fight Light pistol, I got to think about that. That's one of the, is that a Kel-Tec product? It's like their folding AR pistol or something. If it's not, you're going to have to just help me out. I would pull it up, but I don't have access to a computer at the second. So needless to say, I've never shot one. But help me out. Who's the manufacturer? The top right is a Mac 11. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I'm trying to think. Tell me who the company. I can picture the gun. Uh, I'm just trying to think of the manufacturer off the top of my head because that isn't Kel-Tec. Uh, I mean, is it Flight Light? But I can picture the gun. I've never actually seen one in person. I've just seen the videos on them. If you guys want me to answer questions, you got to make sure you double tap that screen. Um, you got to pay the troll toll. Troll toll simple. One like, one answer. So, how good is a SIG 365 fuse on scale 1 to 10? So, Jaden, somebody else may have to jump in here because I don't have a lot of experience with SIGs. One thing I'm not going to do on my channel, and I witness this when I go to other people's lives, is a lot of people will answer or give people the answer that they want to hear. If I don't have experience with a firearm, I'm not going to lie to you. I'll just tell you I don't know due to lack of experience. So I know that's maybe not what you want to hear, and I would love to have a better answer for you, but I'm just not going to lie to anybody. We have had a few. Yeah, okay. They make the uppers too, the belt-fed uppers, right, for the AR-15. So I have had some firearm fails. We've had a few squibs. Nothing catastrophic. We caught it right away. And then in my CZ Scorpion last year, it wasn't necessarily a squib. By definition, it was. The projectile did not have enough power to make it out the 16-inch barrel. The next round behind it pushed the bullet out, and it bulged the barrel. So I have a barrel for it. I got to change that. I'm running out of time to get that done. So them are my firearm fails. I posted a few firearm fails for people that were asking about SIGs a lot. And if you notice, I didn't really add anything to it. I just showed that, yes, these situations happen. Yes, they blow up. Yes, they are having accidental discharges with them. And then I figured, yeah, man, don't sweat it. I'll absolutely help you out. But I wanted to show too, and this is why I showed a Glock and an AR-15 and that Smith & Wesson 15. Any mechanical instrument, and a firearm is nothing more. It's a tool. It's a mechanical instrument that works. Anything mechanical out there will absolutely fail. It happens due to poor manufacturing, poor tolerances, poor ammunition, or parts breakage or failure. It happens. Some companies are having more problems than others, but no firearm is ever 100% safe. That's why when we have firearms, you guys double tap that screen and I'll answer them questions. Yeah, everything wears out, parts get fatigued, ammunition, quality control checks fail, anything can happen. But again, that's why it's important with firearms, when it's loaded or not, to keep it pointed in a safe direction. Have the expectation that that firearm is ready to discharge at any second. So we don't flag ourselves. We don't point it up in the sky. You know, there's things a person should do that's part of firearm safety, that if and when a failure happens, and that failure could be self-induced, it could be their own finger, their own anything, right? It's in a safe controlled way. Generally, you don't want to point a firearm in the sky. One thing you'll see a lot of people do is when they're at a firing range, indoors or outdoors, they'll charge a pistol pointed up at the ceiling or at the sky. Well, there's a lot of firearms out there that can and will and do discharge when a bolt's closed. It's not ideal, but again, it's a failure. So when you charge a firearm, you point it downrange and you charge it at a safe area, a backstop, downrange, you know, them places, so that if something happens, you retain the projectile. You're not allowing that to leave your controlled area. It's not going to travel 3 miles away and go through the little old lady's window that's knitting a blanket for her great grandson and now you're going to prison for manslaughter. You fired a round, it left your gun, it kills somebody, you're going to prison. Accidents happen, you still go to prison. Rubbish, I don't want to miss you here. I do not carry appendix carry. Have you heard about any appendix carries? It happens, yeah. People on holstering, people on drawing, people on holstering. Sometimes their shirt will get caught in the way, or part of their pants or something. It happens, man. You know, any of you guys that carry appendix are brave. You know, I mean, maybe you have a 12-inch pecker and you can afford to lose a couple inches. Me personally, I was circumcised as a child, so I don't have a couple extra inches that I'm willing to give up. And king fettets, no, not by a long shot. These aren't my all my firearms. Midwest Perspective, how are you doing, sir? Yeah, we're just chilling, killing some time. My kids are all gone. My middle son's working. My wife's out working her side job, and my daughter's shooting. My wife works like real part-time at a nursing home working with Alzheimer patients. She gives them psych evaluations. I say part-time, but I mean, she makes more money part-time at that than I do. So, Jay, I appreciate that RPK. That's one of two I own. I fire for fun. What springs you think? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Perfect, John. Orange Smoke's good, dude. Well, I appreciate it. Honestly, and people can agree or disagree, but on the hip is faster. Well, that sounds like a real shitty job, pardon the pun. What spring? I would assume you changed the hammer spring. That would be the spring. The second thing you may try, if you haven't changed the recoil spring, the gun may not be in complete lockup when it's trying to be fired. No, I haven't, but Lauren, it's funny you say that because I do have a DWX. So I assume you have a DWX. What I will say is I was able to get my trigger well under 3 pounds with nothing more than some Molly, a little bit of 1800 grit and 1500 grit sandpaper, wet sandpaper, and then bending the springs. So the Atlas kits, you're gonna spend good money for something that you don't really need to do. Take it apart. It's a very simple firearm to take apart, and it's very, very simple to do the work yourself. Yeah. So I don't know why you'd want to switch it out. I don't think there's going to be any gain there. I assume if you're going that light, you're probably shooting USPSA or IDPA or PCSL. Joey, how are you doing? I see you there. I appreciate it. No, my DWX is run 100% flawless. I think the second round maybe I tried to chamber in the firearm, maybe the third. It didn't go into full chamber. That was it. And that was like the very second round the gun ever fired. But it's run a 100% flawless. You know, being you have a DWX, I lost a screw out of the optics plate. I still have the iron sight on it. And just in case you ever have to, DWX is a great company. CZ USA is a great company to deal with. They treated me right. Very, very decent company. Joe, what's big for today? Going for chicken. Where are you going for chicken at? Oh, probably Parnell's, right? I would guess. Joe, double tap that screen. Joel, double tap that screen. Throw some likes on this for me. Yeah, Parnell's. Parnell's chicken's the bomb. And you guys listening, JPZ's a good friend of mine. I've known him a lifetime. Parnell's is a restaurant here in my city, and they have a chicken special on Sundays. And man, it's the best chicken you're ever gonna eat. Just old school chicken. Gen 3. What ammunition were you shooting in the 23? As my experience, the Glock 22, Glock 23, Glock 27, Glock 35 definitely have a little more recoil than 9mm versions, but they're not bad. No, I think south of us got it a lot worse. We were just a little above like the cutoff there. I mean, it definitely stormed some, but I don't think we got it nearly as bad as, Illinois or Ohio or Indiana. So how much storm damage did you get? Frizzle, Mississippi, huh? $180 federals. Well, I mean that helps. Every gun recoils. Every gun has muzzle flips. Some are easier to control than others, but um, D-Dog does its thing. Do I sell a cute dog? No. That's my bulldog, my American bulldog. Um, him and my female did have puppies years ago, and I sold the puppies. My guy Joe in here, one of his friends actually got one. They threw some beautiful puppies. The puppy I kept, he's laying down in another room. He's the only one I kept, but I did sell him when I had him. But I mean, he's old. What is he now? 10, 11, 10. I think he's 10. So he gets tired. It's not actually an A1, so if you look carefully, it's a flat top upper. The furniture, the forearm, and the buttstock are authentic. Them came off of lead and lease guns that were demilled. I bought a whole shit of them. They were actually Colt guns. So you got everything except the lower receiver, including all the fire and control groups. But I rebuilt them guns out years ago, and I kept the forearm and buttstock. I have several of them. Nobody wanted them, and when I built this dissipator, I put that furniture on there. I built this dissipator. John, you may find this interesting because I mentioned it. So I built this dissipator to actually work with a WOT trigger. It has the mid-length gas system in there, and I put the H3 buffer in there. Then I put a carrier and weight in there. That was the gun I built for that trigger, and it worked. It worked incredible. However, the ATF took the triggers, and I'm waiting for them to get back. So you guys, if you want me to answer questions, I gotta see the likes on the screen go up. You gotta pay that troll toll. All right, Joe, I'm gonna keep chatting with you until you tell me you're leaving. Dream Chaser, that's a Glock 34, so it's the 9mm version. Well, Joe, when you go see Terry, tell him I said hi. Emma Alchemist, how are you doing today? You're not doing a live, are you? I didn't check. How's your daughter? I know you said she came home. How's she doing? She getting better now? She should be. No, the 35 is the 40 caliber version. That's a gun I use for, I shouldn't say do use, I did use for USPSA and IDPA. I'm glad she's doing better, Ammo. Yeah, one's an H&R and one's the Iver Johnson. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. The H&R on the bottom is Target. I don't recall what the model numbers are on them. Them were guns. My sister actually inherited them and then she gave them to me. So you can probably tell me more about them than I can tell you. Send me their links, Hamill. I want to check them out. Not that I want to subscribe or anything, but I want to see the channels. And who do you think's doing it? Somebody has a serious hard on for you. I don't know who, why, what, when, where, but I tell you what, if are they cloning your videos too? Are you taking the chicken out to Terry's? Is that what you're doing, Joe? Just picking it up, taking it out to Terry's, meeting Mom? Pay the troll toll. Patriot, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a real, you guys will start seeing that in other people's videos, I'm sure of it. And everybody's gonna know, hey, that came from me. But gotta pay that troll toll. There you go. That's all right, Stiffler. Did you catch the part when I was telling you about John's channel? He's up above you a little bit. Patriot, I don't know if you were here the other day either. That John Flame's channel. Check his channel out. This dude's got a living museum. Incredible collection. I personally don't know anybody that has that large and extensive of a firearms collection. A lot of very, very significant historical firearms. But how did your sales go, Stiffler? Yeah, I mean, it's funny because he's been at this a while too, and he's starting to get really discouraged because he's showing some really cool stuff that obviously he's passionate about. I mean, he spent his lifetime doing this, and he's getting like no recognition for it, you know. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of the people that are really going to be interested in those types of firearms, they're not young guys that are looking to watch videos about Glocks, right? But I connected with him a little while ago, and he's a really cool guy to chat with. You want the bottle? Here, I'll give it to you. Here, go over here and chew on it. One of his favorite things in the world, my dog, is he likes taking soda bottles and you put the cap on there and he'll chew on it until he gets the cap off, and then he'll suck the soda out of it, pull the ring off the cap, and then he's done with it. But he started doing that when he was a puppy, and I don't know, I let him do it. He doesn't eat the plastic or nothing, but he just chews on it. Orange Smoke, how are you doing, sir? How's your Sunday going? Right on, Stiffler. Make that money, man. Living that dream. Living the American dream. Never home. Exhausted beyond belief. Probably working 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, just to do your own thing. Yep, that's what he does. So when he was a puppy, you know, he's an American bulldog, and the dog just incredible jaws, and so we'd play with him, and he likes the noise, you know, the crunchy stuff or the squeaky stuff, and I just started playing with him with water bottles because he could take a water bottle, he could sit and crunch on it, and when it got all flattened out, we'd throw it away, and you know, it was just cheap toys for him, and he figured out how to pull the caps off and suck the soda out. So what 380 did you get, Patriot? As a kid, I had a Brittany Spaniel, and he did the same thing. He loved potatoes. Orange Smoke, I'm sorry for that. My heart goes out to you, and I won't make a. I'm not gonna sit and talk about it now, unless you want to talk about it. But my deepest sympathy goes to you and your family. The Brittany we had, he was a very large dog, and that fat bastard learned how to open the refrigerator. So, you know, when we'd leave the house, that dog would help himself to items in the fridge, which was unfortunate. We were poor, and most of the time the dog ate better than us. The other thing that dog used to is my grandma had given me a big bag of marbles, and this dog would go in my room and he would steal marbles and he'd sit and play with them. And man, I got my ass beat a bunch of times because that dog would be stealing marbles. He'd bring them downstairs, and then my mom or dad would walk on them, and then they'd get mad at me. The thing is I hadn't even played with them. They were in my room. My mom had finally at one point caught him doing it. But yeah, I got my ass tanned a couple times. Swab Jockey, I appreciate it. Do me a favor, do me a solid and double tap that screen. Gotta pay that troll toll. So John, that H&R on the bottom, it doesn't lock up anymore. So I've looked a little bit for parts for it, but that cylinder sits in free spins, so obviously it's not something worth shooting. Yeah. My mom definitely meant business. I think like us too, as you get older, parents calm down. It's probably why most parents make really great grandparents, but so my sister inherited them too, and she gave them to me. Yeah. There you go. It's probably a better idea. 357, especially in them little snubbies, is I mean, it's hard on them. What? Fuck them up then. Get them. All right, full bar. Hey, good dog, right? Hey, come here. Oh, I'll say that as he's not listening. Full bar, come. Here. Sit. Sit. Down. Good boy. Back. 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 There you go. I'm sure yours does it too, but like on TV, especially if there's dogs barking or playing, man, my two boys will jump up and get all fluffed up and, you know, try to engage with them. I don't like dogs that'll sit and carry on forever when they bark, but I have no problem when my dog hears something that he'll give that little alert bark. That's what they're supposed to do, right? So as long as he stops when I tell him to stop. And he's got that really deep bark, but the puppy, I mean, makes him sound like a little girl when he barks. Because the puppy's just whoa, 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 just super, super deep bark. Patriot, did you get any storm damage out of that storm? Yeah, I told you, man. That he's got a great collection. When him and I started talking, so I was watching some of his videos, and you could tell he's like, no, I didn't see it, but I will. I have some videos up of bump firing it, but I think you asked me before to break that down. If you can let me slide on it till next weekend when I have more time, I will absolutely break that down and show how it works. And then as it gets warmer, we'll go out, we'll do some shooting with it specifically for you. It's a cool historical firearm for the aspect of what they did and how they designed it and why they designed it. The trigger on it obviously sucks. And that's got what's called trigger slap. So I know you can't see it really in the video here, but they actually put a rubber piece over the trigger to help from the sting of it. So in the summertime it's not so bad, but you get out in the winter or the cold weather when your hands are cold, and it's actually pretty painful to shoot. Jay Lee, how are you doing? I saw you in a couple of videos or a couple of people's lives last night. The grip is weird. It's not uncomfortable, but it's definitely not comfortable. Yeah, Stiffler, you still there? People are looking for our bats. No damage. So John, the Stiffler Manufacturing is a aftermarket Glock slide manufacturing. And Stiffler, if I did any of this wrong, stop me. But they manufacture for Gen 3 Glocks. They have a bunch of different cuts. They're optics ready. They Cerakote them in just about every color you could think of. Real reasonably priced. Well, if you do, I'm telling you, let's sell some bats. The Stiffy bat. John, we are giving Stiffler a little bit of a hard time, and we're asking if he had merchandise on his website for sale, and he doesn't. And while we're sitting here talking, I had the Constitution in the background of a video. Chanson, how are you doing? But I had the Constitution in the background of the video, and while we're talking to Stiffler about merchandise, we came up with the idea that he should hydro dip a baseball bat with the Constitution. Call it the Stiff bat. And then what we decided, Orange Smoke, a Stiff bat. Slim Stays. Do me a solid and double tap that screen. You gotta pay that troll toll to get answers for questions. That goes for you too, Swab Jockey. Double tap that screen for me, sir. And I will gladly answer your questions. Gots to pay the troll toll. It is a good idea, Patriot, right? I mean, nothing else. When people get confused about the Constitution, we can help them read it. Yeah, Stiffy bat. Yeah, and we got the Stiffy Point, his race gun that he's in development. Ultra secret, top secret, off table, Area 51, deep concealment, Stiffler high point or Stiffy Point, open division race gun. I was sworn secrecy, but I don't keep secrets very well, so I'm telling the world. There you go. Mountain Man, how are you doing? Yeah. I think it's a good idea. I'm good. Sunday afternoon. My kids are gone. My daughter's out shooting. My wife's at work. And my middle son's at work. Yeah, man. No worries, Orange Smoke. I mean, you'll be okay. It's just gonna suck for a minute. I'm glad that you found it too. I'm glad that you hung out. So be good, and just know that I'm thinking of you, and my heart goes out to you for the slide. That'll be good. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that, Midwest. It's true though. It's all right. Don't sweat it, John. Have you shot the 43X yet? So, Mountain Man, like I was saying, I'm sure you will. Double tap that screen for me. Pay that troll toll with a like. But I personally, I don't own any SIGs, so I can't speak to it. There's people in the comments here that do and have. I would suspect they'll probably give you their opinion. O-Block, double tap that screen when I see a like pop up here. I'll answer your question, sir. All right. So the reason you see long slides or long barrels or long, like on a semi-automatic pistol, long barrel, is it increases the sight radius. The longer the sight radius, just like a rifle, the longer the sight radius, the easier it is to be accurate. And with a handgun as well, you get increased velocity, and that also aids in accuracy. So that's the real short, generic answer to why long barrel. The revolver there was a target model, so they were looking for accuracy and they were looking for sight distance. Trey, do me a solid. Actually, I think you already did. The PSA Dagger, right? So I bought that for my middle son, and man, I'm going to tell you guys, I would really like to say a lot of positive things about that and the company. However, the chamber on that firearm is extremely out of spec, and it bulges brass to the point where I'm not comfortable shooting it, and I'm definitely not going to let my kids shoot it. Which, okay, you know what happens, things get through manufacturing processes. But I contacted Palmetto State Armory about a dozen times through voicemails, trying to get a hold of somebody in person, as well as emails, and they refused to acknowledge a single voicemail or email, completely dismissed it. So I'm left with a firearm that is unserviceable, with a company that refuses to even acknowledge that I'm trying to contact them. My wife tried contacting them through the same ways, as well as my son, because he got this gun, he wanted to shoot it. Hey, it's not safe to shoot. So as much as I'd like to say something good about it, between the company and their absolute disregard for customer service, as well as the firearm, I have nothing positive to say. So I think O Block, I just answered that. It is. Max Blake, feel free. Showing firearms is allowed on lives, so we're not allowed to handle them, but we're allowed to show them. Yep, freedom. You gotta always appreciate when some little gamer kid comes in and does the I'm calling the cops or I'm reporting you. You know, son, go home, take your mom's bra off, put it back where it belongs, quit wearing your sister's underwear, and grow the fuck up. Yeah. Well, do me a favor, you guys that just saw that, um, do me a solid and double tap that screen. Max, if you have such a problem with all this, move on down the road. Go watch Roblox or Minecraft. There. Hey, Max, I'd really love to hear what you have to say. Why don't you go ahead and let us know? Yeah, well, you guys noticed that he disappeared, right? So he's still sitting there. I didn't even time him out from the channel. I just straight blocked anything he has to say. So he can go home, sniff his mommy's underwear, do his little thing, but be gone, little buddy. Wish you the best of luck on your transition in life. So, like you said, Stifler, I think, and I'm really, this kind of sucks, right? PSA is definitely, they're helping a lot of people get into firearms that maybe couldn't otherwise, or a certain type of firearms. And I respect the company for that. I do. I really want to like the company. I really want to like their products. But like man, one customer one customer giving you negative reviews or negative comments or have anything bad to say is worth more than 10,000 people saying something positive. You have to try to keep everybody right. Now, nobody's ever going to make everybody happy. Nobody's ever going to make everybody, warm and fuzzy inside. But PSA, there's just as many negative comments out there as positive, just like with SIG, right? But some people get great products and others get really shitty products. And the ones that seem to get really shitty products, uh, that company doesn't support them. It doesn't acknowledge them, which is probably the worst thing. It's one thing to say not even our problem, but just to straight ghost them, to not even acknowledge them and try to work with them or work through whatever is going on. But that's so messed up, Make things right. So if you just got a Glock 26, I would think it's fair to assume that you're gonna carry it. The one thing I have for my Glock 26 that I feel is essential is a grip extension for the magazine. Pierce makes them, PEARCE, I believe. Um, but it just goes on the magazine. It doesn't give you any extra capacity, but it gives your pinky something to grab hold of, and it doesn't change how the firearm prints. Um, Echo, double tap that screen. When I see that double tap there, I'll acknowledge that. As far as what should you change, maybe the sights, but leave the trigger alone, leave the slide release alone, leave the magazine release alone. Um, it's a carry gun, so the closer to stock it is, the better off you're going to be. Um, the grip extension, that changes how the firearm feels. It definitely makes it much more shootable, and that's what I like. That's what I carry as a Glock 26. Echo, it's a Glock 34, sir. So again, on a carry gun, you're better off leaving it alone. Um, if and when the time ever comes, it's a whole lot less questions. But I mean, if you guys want to modify guns, this is a good plug. If you are looking to modify your Glocks, you'll see Stiffler Manufacturing up here in the comments. He manufactures a lot of Glock products that you guys could check out. I'd say 1911. So obviously single stack, 45 ACP. It's a commander length. So commander length dictates a shorter slide. It's a 4-inch slide with a full-size grip. If you notice the grip though, it's got like a little bump in it that would lock in between your middle finger and your ring finger. That frame was made by Olympic Arms. They had a product line where they were selling them. Overzealous gun collector. Hey, sir, since you're here, you're gonna see a guy in the comments, John Flame. Check out his channel. Dude's got a living museum. Incredible firearms collection. And just below you, you'll see Stiffler Manufacturing. He manufactures Glock slides. Check out his channel too. He's got a channel and he's got a website, Instagram, all that stuff. Dude makes cool shit. I mean, that's right up your alley. Stiffler, overzealous. He's got a great firearms collection too. He likes to tinker. And of course, Patriot Arms and everybody else that's here. But good to see you, Overzealous. I'm glad to see you got signed up for the Bullseye League. You'll have fun with that. You'll learn a lot. All right, African Daddy. Well, he's going to start manufacturing SIG products too. So nothing else, just check his channel. You might find it interesting. No, I've never even shot that bottom revolver. My sister inherited that and she gave it to me. The spring that controls how the firearm locks up is broke, so it's just a collector piece. It actually dates, was it 1903 or 1901? I can't remember which. So there's been a bunch of people too, overzealous, asking about SIG products. So if you hang out a while, you'll probably see some of them. Yeah, you hear him snoring. No, it's not. I built that for a WOT trigger, and it worked really great. But I am currently waiting for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives to return my triggers. Well, Hunter, if you think they're airsoft, then okay. But they're not airsoft, buddy. No, not even close. Subscribe to the channel and take a look, and then you'll be like, oh man, that was a stupid question. Feel free to double tap that like screen for me too. Yeah, with 50 BMG rounds, it works. Yeah, neither of them do. But it's funny when John, I was watching one of your videos and you were looking for parts for over under, and you were on eBay. I'm like, oh boy, I knew right away you were on Evil Bay. And I'm like, I wonder if he's checked Numrich. And then it wasn't 2 seconds later you pulled up Numrich. Sam, I ordered it. I don't remember the website I ordered it from. I had that during the election. Uh, I thought it was funny. You know, everybody had all these political signs in their front yard, and I stuck that out there. I mean, I think it's cool that people support their party or their candidate, but to some point it gets kind of lame and old. So that was my little, like, you know, facetious little joke there. You didn't say, Patriot, which 380 did you get? Yeah, I buy a lot of stuff off eBay. I'm not gonna lie. Part of it is because I do trust them. Um, all right, Mountain Man, you have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday. A lot of stuff too, you know, it's as cheap, sometimes cheaper than any place else you're gonna get it. Um, like a lot of bore solvents and stuff, I'll buy off eBay. It's it's the same price even shipped than if I ran out and bought it. So I figure by the time I have to get up, leave, go get the stuff from a store, it probably costs me more because I'm paying for fuel, even just drive across town, where I can order it off eBay. I have it in a couple days. You know, to me, that kind of makes sense. I know it doesn't necessarily help out your local economy or help out small businesses, but I like eBay a lot more when you could still buy, um, you know, AK parts or AR-15 parts or any of that other stuff on there. They used to get some incredible deals for like lower parts kits and stuff, or even like they used to sell the oops parts kits, so it'd be the small springs or detents or something, and they were dirt cheap, man. Yeah, good days. I mean, they used to, man. I would like to see that happen again, but we all know that's not going to happen anymore. I like Gunbroker, but I haven't had a negative experience on Gunbroker. But for whatever reason, I'm a lot more leery about dealing, especially individuals. Um, I sent you the MC. There you go. Can you double tap that screen? Got to pay that troll toll. I'll answer your question. So how'd that work with them sending that firearm, Patriot? Did you have to pay any transfer fee or your probably your background check? I would suspect, right? Had to do a background check, do the 4473, and I mean you got to pay for that. It's funny, years ago when they still sold stuff, I bought a saw barrel off of eBay with the sheath that it went in. I think I paid like 250 bucks for this barrel, and I was actually going to make a lamp out of it. Um, but I I got it on like a Thursday. That weekend was a gun show. I took it to a gun show with me, and there was a SOT manufacturer here in the state. And I took it just for shits and grins, but I showed it to him and he had to have it. So I traded it to him for some parts and a couple $100 cash. So basically I doubled my money. Yeah. There's a guy who I buy 50 BMG ammo from every once in a while. It's saved in my phone, so I can't tell you the link off the top of my head. But I'll usually go on there, and he does 10 rounds at a time, and then I'll email him, and I'll usually pick up 50 rounds or something, and he'll throw it all in the same package, save me the shipping. And I appreciate it. Do me a solid and double tap that screen. Throw a like on it. When you guys watch people's YouTube channels, throwing a like on a video or a comment, and what helps even more than just a comment is a question. If you ask somebody a question, YouTube loves that. They love that viewer engagement. So most people are just trying to get their stuff out there to be seen and shared and build their channel so they can provide better content, right? So that's why I keep shaking you guys all down for that, paying the troll toll. I call it the troll toll. It does. YouTube right now too, man, they are being straight savages for gun channels. I mean, any shorts, at least mine, that's kind of why I backed off on doing them. The shorts and the videos, they're just slaying it. I mean, they're not letting the stuff out, and it really sucks. But the lives right now, the lives still do pretty good. And then, like I said, the more people that are just throwing a like on it, they hang out for a minute. You know, if all you're doing is scrolling, just sit for a minute, let it feed the algorithm. It really helps push that out to a lot more people. So you guys that are doing that, I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I hear you, Stiffler. You got to make that money, man. No, I haven't. What kind of 45 and what kind of 9mm? You know, it's weird because I'll see this in other people's too, their algorithms. I'll get a video and it'll be like going straight up, get just a ton of views, and then it'll stop. It'll like full e-brake stop. And, you know, that's not that people chose to skip it. And you look at it, like one I had a few weeks back, had like 50 some shares, you know, 15 or 20,000 views, 400 or 500 likes, and then it just dead stops. Why do that? I don't understand. They absolutely do, and you know, I don't understand. She'll like the Scorpion. I enjoy that firearm a lot. So I really enjoy my Scorpion overzealous. It's a lot of fun to shoot. I did bulge my barrel though. I have a new barrel. I got to change it. Ralph, double tap that screen and I'll answer your question for you. We got to get overzealous doing a live. he's got some really cool stuff. I like the Scorpion. I like the way it shoots. One thing I did is I changed the recoil spring in it, and I went to a plus 125% recoil spring. That made the gun very, very enjoyable. Until I did that, you would feel in the cycling of the action, you would feel the bolt bottom out, so you get that initial firearm up, so the muzzle would come up, when the action would make its rearmost travel and contact the receiver, and then when the bolt would slam forward, you would get a nosedive. So it was really it was a weird recoil impulse. But when I changed that recoil spring, it stopped bottoming out on the rear of the receiver, and I mean, it comes forward with more force, but you still don't get a real big nosedive. And then on top of it all, which is a bonus, it makes it super easy to bump fire the gun. But it was weird. I didn't even know the barrel was bulged until I cleaned the gun. I noticed out of the blue my accuracy, it got shitty. It started shooting like a 2-inch group at 25 yards, which wasn't what that firearm was shooting. So I brought it home, like, all right, it's time to clean the barrel. And I cleaned the barrel, and I'm looking down the barrel with a light, and I saw just a dark ring. I thought it was just still falling, so I scrubbed on it some more. I'm like, no, the barrel's clean. So I got a borescope out and I looked at it, and I start rubbing my hand over the barrel, and sure shit, it has a bulge. Now, keep in mind, right, that you could still shoot that firearm if you wanted to. 2 inches at 25 yards, it's not great, but it's not bad for a pistol caliber carbine. I mean, it's okay. Me personally, I bought a barrel for it right away. I just haven't swapped it. I've been sitting on all my extra money here, and I will for another few weeks until I make sure my son's trip to Spain is completely covered. I paid his driver's ed this last week for him, and I paid his behind the wheel for him. So I have to order a barrel nut wrench to be able to remove the handguard, to be able to remove the barrel. And it's only like a $40 part, which $40, I mean, it's not really a lot of money, but $40 if I don't have it's a lot of money. So I would rather make sure I have every penny sitting there, that if he needs it or wants it, I can give him extra. But I have a couple grand to send with him right now. When he goes to Spain, he'll be there for 10 days. He's going for orchestra. He'll be there for 10 days, and they're playing like 10 different places. Yeah, it's school related. Super expensive trip. If he were here, I'd let him tell you about it. I think I saw something where they backed off on that. So I know it was stuff their person, but I'm pretty sure that they backed off on that. So Brian and Ultrafire, there's four, what is it? We got, I can't tell if that's 8 or 4. It looks like 51 likes on this right now. If you guys double tap that screen, so it'll be at 52, 53, I'll answer all your questions. But you got to pay the troll toll, man. That lets me know you're actually serious about having a conversation versus just being a sailor. Well, let's get one more, and then we'll pop them up. So the M16 original version, it's not. It's original Vietnam era forearm and buttstock. The buttstock is actually a A1 buttstock. It's a little bit shorter than the A2 buttstock, and there's no trap door. And then, of course, the triangle forearm. It's built on a 16-inch barrel mid-length gas system. It's a dissipator with an A3 flat top. Kind of gives the rifle a vibe. I built that rifle to work with a WOT trigger. So it's got the H3 buffer, and I got a carrier weight in it. The gun ran, I mean, it ran really good. However, we all know our favorite law enforcement agency, they came and took the triggers that I had. I had a rear breed and a WOT. They came and they took them, and I'm waiting for their return. When they get returned, it'll go back in that gun. So a A3 is a flat top upper. So A1 is the old style carry handle. The A2 was the fixed carrying handle. The A3 is a removable handguard, or a removable carrying handle. Well, what I mean is they showed up at my property and said, we know you have these. We have correspondence back and forth to companies. We have tracking data. We have all this stuff. You can surrender these triggers or you can be prosecuted. And if I hadn't surrendered them, what they would have done is they would have went and got a search warrant. They would have searched my property. They would have found the triggers because I still had them. And I would have been prosecuted. Now we all know that it's been ruled that these triggers were legal. But yeah, they came, they took them. So I don't know about you guys. What was the WOT? $350. I think the rare breed was $400. Take them. You know, you look on the table, right? $800, $700 worth of triggers versus losing all your firearms or your ability. It's a trigger, man. They can be replaced. I know there's a lot of people that told them to go get bent. The interesting thing is when it was announced that they were sending letters out, when I first heard they were sending letters out to people to go get these triggers, I mean, I had mine within a day, and they were on my phone and they were at my house. So I don't think that it was one of them things that was worth. That wasn't where I was going to stand my ground. I don't think any of them had metal gears. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was funny because I talked to my wife when I got the letter, and I'm like, you know, like they're saying, I could say they fell off a boat. I could say I don't have them. I could say a lot of things. And at the end of the day, for me personally, the price of them, they were just a toy. It wasn't where I wanted to stand my ground and risk losing my rights, my freedom, everything. I mean, I own my house. I have a good job. I have kids, a wife, dogs. I wasn't willing to give up any of that at all for a trigger. I mean, it's nice that they're there. How do you say that? Candia or Canda? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, sir. I apologize, but hi, how are you doing? Phoenix Walker. Yeah, I think Scoot just answered that for you. You know, they definitely, right, if you handle these early forearm stock sets and stuff, you know, yeah, compared to like an M1A, they feel cheap. But I don't dislike them. I actually really do like that triangle handguard. No, that's my dog groaning. He's a couple feet away from me, sleeping on the floor. I like the shorter A1 butt stocks too. It's got a really good feel. I mean, I threw that stuff on that rifle for just kind of because I had the furniture here, but I've left it on there because I like the way it feels. It's got a really cool vibe. I mean, this isn't all I own, right? Correct. Exactly what it is. That was one of the first batches they were bringing in. That was back in 2014, I believe. They were bringing them in. They were bringing the Yugos in. I bought 2 of the Romanian. I bought the first one, and then a couple months later, I bought my second one. All right, Overzealous, I appreciate you hanging out and chatting. Go spend that time with them kids. I won't be on here much longer. I think 2 o'clock will be my shut-off point. But you couple guys that joined in here, Ultrafire, Chosen One, and Dak, do me a solid and double tap that screen. Anthony, how are you doing? Double tap that screen for me. Show some support. There you go. How are you doing, YCD Guns? It does. You know, in this rare breed or WOT trigger, I would like to say people didn't do anything. However, they did what was important, the first step, and that was fight it, right? Fight it in courts. That was a hard thing. I mean, like I said, was a trigger something I wanted to stand my ground on? No. Now, if they came and they showed up and said, hey, look, this RBK is illegal, you have to surrender it, or your Glock is illegal, you have to surrender it, I would have a hard time with that, and I don't think that I would comply. I didn't like it when the pistol braces stuff came down, but again, it was an accessory. Was I willing to lose freedoms over it? No. There's been a few things like that, right? So I think everybody else has to have that honest conversation with themselves on at what point are you willing to risk it all? No, braces are good now. That was another thing where they overstepped their bounds and it was fought in court and they lost. So in that situation, good people did do something. They fought it. I mean, the first step in anything is a legal battle, right? After the legal battle, when we can all sit back and say, no, this just isn't right, that's another story. But you got to let things play out. You got to let things go through the court system. The bump fire stocks, right? I had them. I still do. They were removed from a firearm. They were put back in the original packaging. I sealed up the original packaging and put them away. And that was what, 8 years ago? I think about 8 years ago. And it took all that time for it to go through the court system. Now, they didn't show up looking for them. You know, had they shown up looking for them, would I have surrendered them? Maybe. Did I go out of my way? And because you could send them in or you could destroy them. Was I willing to do that? Absolutely not. You know, did I understand removing them from the firearm and stop using them? I understood that, you know. I think you were saying that the other day, the raw dog and the buffer tube. All the Yugoslavia stuff's decent. Now it's all, you know, Serbia. I have that underfold, M70, I believe, that I had out here the other day, and that's marked Yugoslavia, which is kind of interesting because 2 years later they all come in marked Serbia. But you know, I think a lot of this firearm push maybe was a way of testing the ground to see how many people would actually comply with unreasonable stuff. YCD Guns, no, it's a Glock 34. There you go. Double tap that screen for me, play for keeps. I would love to see, and I've talked about this, I think, in every live. I would love to see the NFA change. It would be nice for us to be able to have all the stuff with or without paperwork. My biggest holdup on any NFA item is the fact that you have to submit and wait. If I could go to the store, fill out my paperwork, like you can, right? You can go to the store, do your fingerprints, passport photos, and you should be able to get approved right then and there. If I can get approved to purchase a firearm, then that process should be exactly the same. I should be able to get approved for that. They are a little funny looking for sure. I won't say they're not. That would probably be a good trade for him, huh, Scoot? What kind of shotgun? Absolutely. I mean, everybody thinks that them stating the right to keep and bear arms was in reference to small arms. It was over their cannons, man. They wanted them. They wanted to take their field cannons away. You know, there's a bunch of good old boys that had field cannons that are like, no, you're not taking my stuff away. That's why it says arms and not rifles. You got the better deal. What kind of 1911 was it then? There you go. Was a car. Car Arms is one of them companies that had a lot of potential for a while, and then just kind of fizzled out. I know a lot of people used to really like their 9mm. They're almost a Glock, but wasn't a clock. Scoot actually purchased a membership. I have a couple moderators. None of them are here. Yeah, Scoot's my first member, man. I got to do a Mac 11 video for him. I think I'll probably make that members only too, just for him. I think they really wanted to have control over our own politics, not have some foreign interest or some, like a modern police agency that's run by Democrats that doesn't really relate to its population or its interests. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do is we'll pop some Mac 11 stuff up for you. I'll disassemble it and we'll talk about it. That's not the Mossberg that you're talking about, is it? The YCD guns? If it's not that Mossberg bullpup shotgun, I'm not sure what it would be. Absolutely. You know, interesting thing too is obviously the time and history that they were in when they created that. It wasn't just Mossberg. I had one of them. Uh, I wasn't able to shoot it because it was right-hand eject, but I did have one for a minute. Um, but the time and history that came out, you know, obviously we were fighting for the independence, but you know, there was still wars with natives. You know, there was still wars with or raids and you know with everybody else, and that's why they said, hey, everybody should be responsible for everybody's well-being. Somebody needs help, we go, and that's when everybody's responsible, right? My neighbor is responsible for my freedom, and I'm responsible for them. I mean, that helps things out. Booty liquor, double tap that screen for me. When I see double tap it, I'll answer your question, sir. There you go. You got to pay the troll toll. So, thoughts on Noveske rifles? Noveske rifles are phenomenal. They're great guns. Um, if a person's budget dictates that them are obtainable, then absolutely that's a great buy. Uh, Nobody's going to be upset over a Noveske. Patriot Arms, what time are you going to go live later? I think you've been doing it starting about 7. So I usually catch you about 8 o'clock. I'm not sure what you're saying. Thanks for John. I must have missed something. But if you want to join Patriot Arms live later, um, I'm sure he'd really appreciate that. Try to go around 7 to 8. I'll probably catch you. Yeah, there you go, John. I'll probably catch you right about 8 o'clock. Same time I usually do. Depending on what's going on, I may be up there a little sooner. The sights on the Glock 34. I'm assuming you're about to hit that double tap that screen for me. Show channel some support and pay the troll toll. But the sights on the Glock 34, they're Dawson Precision. Why would I boot him? He's been a really solid dude to have. He's actually a member for my YouTube. Oh, Boot Scoot. Who was that? Boot Scoot and Boogie. And I know the song you're talking about. Big O, how are you doing, sir? How's work? Sunday afternoon. How's weather in Texas? Shit, I could ask Ammo that too. How's weather in Texas today? It was snowing here a little while ago. Sun's out now. Well, my daughter just got home. Let's see how she shot today. A Thursday night she struggled. I gotta get her into the chiropractor. Her back is bothering her, which is kind of funny when it's a little kid. Man, you see it. I'm just taking advantage of some quiet time in the house, working on these watch hours. Getting close. Getting really close. I want to take YouTube's money. We have some plans for doing some videos here that we wanted to do last year. I think now I definitely have a lot larger base of people I engage with. You had a good day today?
I got a 10.
You got a 10? There you go. So that's her target for today. 25 yards with air rifles. You see some good shots and see some not so good shots. But 25 yards with an air rifle, I know I can't do that. I've seen her shoot better, but
I figured out how to sit now to get both my elbows down.
Midwest does a nice job.
Thank you.
Would you do me a solid and let them outside?
Yeah. But I figured out how to get both my elbows instead of just one.
So she's right now, the position she's in, she's sitting. So definitely a harder position. I know. Not a sponsor. How are you doing? Yeah, man. What I suggest you do is go back. Number one, let me know you're going to do it and make sure I am there. And we'll put it in a comment on a video and then I'll erase it right away. That's the easiest way to do it. Pick an old video that nobody's watching. Napping on a Sunday. That's probably a dad nap. But I know both my sons, that was their like least favorite position was sitting. After sitting, they do kneeling. So how the junior marksmanship works is they go through all the positions and they basically they have to master a position and then they move to the next position. But they're scored, and when they get so many bullseyes, then they move to the next position. She just started sitting a couple weeks ago, and it's been a little bit of a struggle for her. And like I said, her back's been bothering her, so she's got to go to chiropractor this week. But
are you able to take me this upcoming week?
So what sucks for her is when they do the last match of the year. Middle of the room, kids apparently been running around crazy. Wife impressed. I stuff there. You're tired. It's not hard to sleep through noise when you're tired. Well, when they do the competition at the end of the year, which is in a few weeks here, no matter what position the kid is in, if they're standing, sitting, whatever, yeah, I appreciate it, man. They compete against everybody. So like last year, one of her friends, as she got started, she was shooting from a supported position, and she ended up winning the gun because they win a gun at the end. So this year, from people like Scoot and a couple other people, I myself, I'll be donating a firearm to the cause. So rather than one gun being on the prize table for them, there'll be two guns. They'll both, I mean, yeah, I am. So that'll be great for them. So if y'all want to participate in any of that, feel free to join the membership or the super chat or any of that stuff, and that'll go to that sport. If not, just keep showing support in these videos, help me get them watch hours up, and I'll take YouTube's money, and that's where that money's gonna go.
This is what a lot of YouTubers
Do it for the plot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right on. But a couple weeks here we start our shooting season, and we'll get footage of that. Oh, that'll be good. I did see you, Mike. How are you doing? Good to see you. Glad you stopped in. With my daughter, when she shoots these matches, I got to be careful. I usually get a strike with YouTube on it, but what I figured out, if I don't show her like her face from the side, they let it go. And it's real important when I show her from the back that it shows the RO in the footage, and it also shows the targets. When I'm able to do that, YouTube it accepts it, and they don't give me a strike. Colin, double tap that screen for me, pay that troll toll, and I'll answer your question. But you got to throw a like up on this live for me to do that. So it's not a M4A1. The barrel has the M4 cuts, and it's a removable flat top, but it's a 16-inch mid-length barrel it's a dissipator, so it's got a rifle length iron sight on it versus the carbine length. It's Vietnam era furniture, so it's actual stuff that came off of demilled Vietnam era firearms. They were off of Colts. It's the A1 buttstock, so there's no trap door, and it's just a little bit shorter than the A2 style buttstocks. I built that gun for a WOT trigger before the ATF confiscated my triggers. Right on, Scoop. If when I put that together, I'd been able to get a hold of an A1 or an A2 upper, I would have, but they were unavailable. Now they're available, and I'm just kind of lazy. I don't feel like taking the gun apart and putting it back together. So there's a little delay in when I'm seeing your guys' comments post till I'm responding. So don't think that I'm ignoring you. But no, that's a Mac 11. All right, Big O, get back to work, make that money. I don't know how many so-called presidents there actually were, but after America was America, I mean, he was technically our first president. But there was people that were elected as a representative before him. I do know that. I don't know how to pronounce your name, obviously. I don't know if that's Chinese or Japanese or whatever, but hello, how are you doing? Thanks for posting it in English so we can read it. It's Chinese. So, ni hao. If you double tap that screen for me there, Gigi. I do not own a Glock 19. I have a 26, a couple 43Xs. I have a couple 17s, a 22, a 44, and a 34. No 19s. Every time I buy a 19, I end up getting rid of them. It's a little too big to carry. It's a little too snappy to enjoy shooting for me. Kyle, I've seen you before. Make sure you double tap that like screen for me, but I prefer a Glock 34. Right? Well, click on him, see if he's got a channel. It is sad. I struggle buying factory ammunition. I generally just buy components. I'm not, obviously with the exception of rimfire, almost everything we shoot I reload. 7.62 by 39, I don't. Um, you know, there's a lot of good places to buy ammunition out there. Wildners, I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They get a lot of deals on ammunition. That's where, I haven't in a long time, but that's where I used to buy a lot of bulk. 7.62 by 39. I still got like 5 cases of it sitting here. A person must have left. I don't know a lot of Chinese. I know a few words, and honestly, most of what I know is just from going to Asian massage parlors. Judge me however you want, but I like to get a massage once in a while. In my area, there's a few types of places you can go. You can go to the self-respecting places that are all therapeutic, and they usually do a half-assed job. Or on the other end of it, you go to the Asian massage parlors, and they kill it. They do a phenomenal job. It's usually a little bit cheaper. So, but they all speak Chinese. Kind of weird. It's funny because, like, if my back or something's really bothering me and I'll ask my wife, hey, can you rub my back? She'll just give me money and go get a massage. So, I mean, who am I to say no to a good time? That's it's a lot of 380. Save $5 with drive an hour. You spend more than that in fuel. Is that for a 1,000 round review? I don't think you answered either. What did that cost you to get the gun? Did you just have to pay for the transfer and background check, or was there additional cost in that? There you go, not a sponsor. Hey Harley, come here. I'll make sure that they show that rifle when they win it. And I'll let them know that it's from our channel. We'll videotape that for sure and we'll get it posted. So just transfer fee. So that's all right. They give you a time limit on how long you can hang on to it. I do see your Kevin or your mark there, Kevin. I mean, everybody has an opinion. There's purposes and places for removable carrying handles. So, personally, for me, for what that gun was for, only thing I needed on it was iron sights because all I was doing was running it in a full reset. So, I see. last year, like I said, her friend, her friend won that gun, and she's still a little upset about it. None of my kids have ever won a gun for that, and they could have, but they try hard and they're competing, so they end up getting bumped up. Like last year was my middle son's last year being able to do it, and, and 2 days before, right, or 3 days before, because they had the match on Sunday, and they had match on Thursday. He moved up on that Thursday to a new position, and it was kneeling. And needless to say, his first experience in kneeling was that morning in competition, and he was bummed out because had he not moved up, he would have won. No doubt he would have won. He was shooting incredible. And it was a similar thing with my oldest. It wasn't like days before, it was like a week or so before, but he had no time to practice the new position. And he even told me, he's like, man, if I had thought this out, I would have thrown a couple scores and been able to win a gun. But they're competing, they're trying to do their best. And that last match they have at the end of the year, that's that's them being scored against everybody else that does it in their group. So they're all trying to win. The worst thing that sucks with that, like, is these kids will win a gun and they did really well. Well, that's usually like the last year they go. For whatever reason, a lot of these kids that have won a firearm never come back. That's kind of unfortunate. My daughter's friend, like I said, won that rifle last year, and I've offered a dozen different times to take her out shooting it, and always has something else that they're doing, so they can't. But I mean, I'd love to take her out and let her shoot the gun because I don't think she shot it yet. David, double tap that screen for me. Throw a like up on this live, and I'll gladly answer your question, sir. Gotta pay the troll toll. I should get a sign that says that. Answer your questions for a like, pay the troll toll. It is a Mac 11 9mm. It's a Cobra. It was manufactured at some point in '89. I don't exactly know what month. I'm sure I could figure it out through the serial number. But I've had that a long time. It's not a very accurate gun. It works. It's actually been fairly reliable. It doesn't like 147 grain projectiles. They're a little long. But 115s or 124s, it just eats them all day long. Off site, I appreciate it. Throw a like on the screen for me. Camo, same thing I just said to the other guys. I'll gladly answer your questions, but you got to double tap that screen, show me a like. When I see the like show up, I'll answer your question. You got to pay that troll toll. It is. I think it's 1903. It was manufactured in 1903 by H&R. I don't really shoot it enough to even waste the money on it. I take it out, generally I take it out once a year, and the only thing I do with it is I bump fire a magazine through it, just because it's easy to bump fire. I see you have the carbines that came out in the early 2000s that they were introducing and selling. I would have liked to have gotten one of them with the 16-inch barrel and the metal butt stock. Them were kind of cool. I like some of the kits they have for them now where they change the charging handle to the side and then they put a rail on the top. kind of turns an old gun like that back into something being relevant. So not a sponsor. I'm sure you're still here. Any of the memberships right now is going to be a little slow going. Once we get out and we start shooting, I'll be posting stuff there. Until we're able to get out and start shooting, there won't really be much to post. Like I said, a little bit of money I made, it will absolutely go to purchasing that rifle for junior marksmanship, and we'll have that posted on the channel when they win the gun. I may have to blur out the kid's face, depending on their parent, if they're cool with it or not. But I'll at least show the gun is there, and it's not just some made up thing. But they go and they shoot the match, and then they go over to a Pizza Hut and have a pizza party, and then right there they award the firearms. Saying this is how I'm gonna get a strike. Hey, will you call your dog, please? She's over here sniffing guns on the table.
Which one?
Mo,
Momo.
go. Call her again.
Mo.
Go. Go. Go on. Go upstairs. Go.
Mo.
Fucking stubborn dog. You're so stubborn. Go. Go. Go.
Mo.
No, she's stubborn. I've never had a dog as stubborn as her.
What's that?
She'll do the game where she'll go outside. They all do. They all go out and go potty, and she'll stand by the door and just stare at you. Like, get in here. And she won't. She'll just stand there. Super stubborn dog. But I mean, she's an American bulldog, so that's what they are. She's what's called a standard American bulldog. My male, he's mixed between a Johnson and a Scott bulldog. He's got a really interesting pedigree, but she's nothing special. She's just a standard American bulldog. The puppy, he took a lot of the Johnson traits. He's very large skeletal structure, very large head. My male, he's gotten old, so he's lost a lot of mass to him, but he's still a good looking dog. So at 5 after 2 here, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. So in about 3 minutes, and you guys that haven't yet, consider double tapping that screen. If you haven't, consider subscribing. There's a million people in here that all have some really cool channels. So if you guys are looking for some other channels to connect with, John Fleming, Patriot Arms, not a sponsor. Orange Smoke, Stiffler Manufacturing. We find some of these other ones here. Midwest Perspective. Don't forget about Midwest Perspective. Harley, I want you to come here.
Yeah.
I want you to personally thank this gentleman right here with the green. Say that name.
Not a sponsor.
And thank him.
Thank you.
He joined the program, as you can see, to help donate back to junior marksmanship. So make sure you say thank you.
Thank you. That'll be really helpful. Come here, Leroy.
If I missed any of you guys, I apologize. Chanson was in here a little earlier, 2:43. He does a bunch of lives. Mike was in here. Mike, 7.62 Mike was in here. Big O, check out Big O's channel. He's definitely a Texan. He's got some cool stuff in there. Scoot, I appreciate your support very much. Ammo Alchemist was in here earlier. He's a solid dude. If you guys have never checked out his channel, check his out. I think YCD Guns, he was here. He's actually a pretty big supporter of the lives. Just about everyone he jumps in. It's always cool to see him. And like I said, if I missed any of you guys, it's not on purpose. Overzealous Collector, he was in here too. I almost forgot about him. If any of you guys are looking for other channels to go to, check out their channels. They all have cool stuff. They all have some real interest in history and stories to share. And so with that, gentlemen, ladies, things, I thank you very much for spending some time with me on a Sunday. I do really appreciate it. You guys that are supporting the channel, I really appreciate that. That'll be donated right back to youth shooting programs, as well as, I mean, to my own son and daughter shooting more. There'll be footage of that posted shortly, a couple weeks yet for the first batch. If you guys that joined to be a member have specific things you want seen, covered, or know more about, let me know, because that will be exclusive footage for you and you only. Well, you or whoever else is a member. So with that, you guys have a great day. Patriot, I will see you probably around 8 o'clock tonight. Try to do some research. Find us some Swedish Mosins. So again, gentlemen, ladies, things, thank you and be good. Catch you next time.